You know how people say that life is hard and we all just kind of accept that? But how hard should it really be? Because I've been trying so hard and it has not gotten easier. Here's what I wrote in my 2018 journal. I'm too unfocused. I can't concentrate. I'm too rushy. I can't balance life and work. I tend to fall to extremes. I don't think often enough. I avoid mind work. I'm not brave enough. I'm not confident, not self-sufficient. I get burned out too fast. I am not emotionally stable. And in the 4 years that have passed since then, I worked so hard on this. And for the longest time, nothing happened. So what changed? Well, I got my ADHD diagnosis. I have been officially diagnosed for 2 years and on medication for 2 months. But before that, I had such a long journey with even finding out that I have ADHD, because by all normal standards and life is hard type of mindsets, I would be the last person you think has ADHD. And I think that's largely because ADHD is so misrepresented and stigmatized, and the country that I was born in did not even believe it exists. Cheers to Bulgaria, where I spent my first 18 years of life. So in my childhood, nobody could suppose this, even though I broke every limb I had. I could never keep my mouth shut, so I got expelled from my very first grade. I could never keep a friend, and I was in general so impulsive. But nobody accepts this. It is just a made-up thing. So I go through life like this. I get into high school. I keep getting in accidents. I crashed my car. I got into so many fights. I still had good grades somehow because I was listening, and that was kind of enough. If you have enough intelligence and if you can listen, that is enough to not completely fail. School is easier there, I have to be honest, than in Germany, where I do live now. I got the best grades in the things that were really interesting to me: literature, history, all of these kind of storytelling type of subjects. And in math and physics and chemistry, I was struggling so hard. I never had my homework. I always forgot things. I just had to work a lot. But I thought this was normal because everybody has talents, right? And things they're not so good at. So this is normal. Everybody struggles. Nobody would have thought I had ADHD then either, even though the easiest way for me to pay attention was to scribble in my notebooks, to read something, or even to listen to music while the teacher is speaking, because I just needed to do something with my hands or with my eyes in order to focus my ears. They would always confiscate everything that I brought. They would tell my parents, and I had no idea why I was doing it, and it helped me. I was actually worse off without my distractions. Enter university. The first chance for me to actually get diagnosed, because in Germany, ADHD is in existence. A lot of psychologists don't believe in it, they don't diagnose it, there's huge stigma, but some people do. Maybe even somebody at university could have noticed this for me, but because of all of the mindsets that I had from home, I didn't even consider that. I thought, you have to work hard, whatever comes good in life, it's not easy. I was trying so much harder than anyone I knew. I was constantly studying. I would take a whole book for a single subject and copy it into my notebook to study it, because I couldn't just read a book, I couldn't focus on that. Then I would type it again on my computer, I would solve all the homeworks, and then I would get an average grade. And I had a friend who was also not talented. She studied 20% of what I studied, and usually got a better grade. In fact, she graduated with the same grade as me. And I was so close to her that I could see that there's just something doesn't add up. How am I working on this the whole time? And still, I was average, and a lot of the times below average. And it just didn't make sense that I would invest that much time and not have any free time or time for me to be average. You know, maybe it is true that hard work can get you successful in your career path, but quality of life, why does nobody talk about quality of life? Because mine in university was abysmal. abysmal. And still, I never considered ADHD because I knew ADHD people and they were stigmatized as someone who is a little bit bouncy, too energetic, and I'm mostly inattentive. I'm not too energetic anymore, not since childhood, but I do remember I would bounce my leg a lot, or I would fall on my bike, I would always be impulsive. So those were my hyperactivity sides in childhood. They kind of subsided, especially since I was studying the whole time. I honestly didn't have any energy to do anything with my body. It was the hardest time of my life. So maybe it's a talent thing, you could think. But I love art and making videos and writing, and I was struggling at that too. In fact, I love playing The Sims, and I couldn't even play The Sims. I was watching a video, playing the game, talking to someone, eating. There was nothing in my life that came easy and that brought me joy and that I could just do that. Everything was a struggle. So it's not a talent thing. I don't know, I tried a lot of other possibilities as well, but it was none of them. I did a lot of research and I still felt like an imposter even though everything fit. The one thing that helped me was the objective symptoms. I could never really just fall asleep, it took an hour. I would never be able to turn my thoughts off. I had terrible problems with regulating my eating random things, uncooked, constantly binging, as well as impulsivity and emotional control. As you remember, I wrote this down in my journal, and it actually really helped me to see that I have been feeling like this for a long time, because sometimes our thoughts can lie to us. But if we actually have proof of how our experience was over time, then we know this is a thing. So then I connected these things with the descriptions of ADHD, and I got my diagnosis. This is going to be in the next video, but the person said, "You are a textbook example of ADHD." And it was such a relief. It was so amazing. If you have any worries, if you have this, if you're wondering, you just have to find out. Don't worry what will happen once you find out. Just go and have that knowledge. Let yourself find out, because I tormented myself for quite a while with, oh, maybe I'm just an imposter, maybe I'm just lazy, unmotivated, not talented, and this person will just laugh at me. He did not laugh. And my life has been so much better since then. And you know what I realized? Nobody would think I have ADHD because I graduated in foreign language, I have a job, I've been working hard, I try to take care of myself, I have a self-improvement channel. This is literally my obsession, and I have many successes. But once I thought about it closely, I realized in German university, you can decide to take anywhere from 0 to 27 things at the same time. And there were times I only took one subject to be able to cope with the amount of work that it caused me, because writing down a whole book takes forever. And it took me twice the time to graduate. I was never able to have a full-time programming job because it was just so overwhelming to me. I would try to focus and get insane brain fog. I was working longer and harder than the others to get worse results, but to just at least complete whatever I had done. So be careful how you look at the past or how you look at other people, and try to really think, are they as successful as they are? How is their quality of life? What is day to day for them? Is it hard? Is it a struggle? Are they having balance? I'm so glad that the ADHD topic is growing on the internet. People are talking about it, and I am going to talk about it, especially about the long road to my diagnosis in the next video. Please check that out if you are interested. And if you like this video, please leave a like.